That music. Wow. That music still rings to this day. And it is honestly amazing. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you guys there. Wow, this is awkward. Hey guys, what's going on? Lucky G7 is back again. After, I don't even know how long it's been since we've done the last classic gems, anime gems, whatever you want to call this new segment now on the channel. But it's been a while. I wasn't really expecting much from the Roni Kenshin discussion that we did. It was just just a fun little discussion that was going on, and then I see comments like 7-8 months later, and people are like, "Oh hey, y'all should do this next." I'm like,
yeah, some massive support for it. So this is for you guys.
It is. Y'all know the drill at this point. No podcasts with just me, because I'd be dull, it'd be boring. You gotta have a buddy on board. You gotta have a buddy on board, and, like usual, I brought one of my own. So,
and I'm JamesSCassidy, enjoying a very nice bourbon and eggnog right now.
And I think the funny thing about this particular anime jam that we're tackling is that I was actually rewatching the show. I think right around the time when these comments are coming in, I was like, that's actually kind of coincidental that it's happening that way. So as soon as I saw, I told James, and he was like, "Oh hey, maybe we should tackle it." I was like, "Hey, I don't mind. I'm all down for it."
It's a pretty good song.
Mm-hmm.
Both the intro and the outro.
Right.
I can still hear it today.
And y'all might be wondering, well, okay, y'all are just beating around the bush now. What's the anime we're tackling? Yu-Yu Hakusho.
Ghost Files.
Yes, Ghost Files. People forget that that's in the actual title.
Yeah.
Or the dub goes, because I know that's a dub title thing.
Yeah.
In Japanese, it was just Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep. The other OG shonen that everyone, I think, forgot about. It's like a underrated treasure, I think, at this point. Yeah. Unless you have really been into anime that's a long time. This is one of those that came around the same time as Rurouni Kenshin. So this is one of those big three. As you know, these shonen things recently have been coming in like big threes: Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin, Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, that sort of thing. So this is one of them big threes way back from the 90s.
Oh yeah.
I think it was on Toonami, wasn't it?
I think so. Surprisingly, and this is something I'll get into later, but this is actually one of the animes that I actually missed out on before. I caught Kenshin right in the middle of Kyoto, and this was the one that...
What?
Which is crazy. Let me explain. So I always knew about Yu Yu Hakusho. I always knew about it, mainly because at the time I was super big into Yu-Gi-Oh! When you had the duel with Pegasus going on. So every time they'd have those ads showing up with
and speech impediments.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to people that actually have speech impediments.
Yeah, so I always remember Yu Yu Hakusho because it goes Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho. They had the U in the title. I always knew about it.
Yeah, they all had the U in the title. Yu Hakusho, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon. Mm-hmm. No, I'm kidding.
So I always knew about it, but I don't know why it always just slipped. No, I know what it was, because I think Yu Yu Hakusho came on at a later time than Kenshin did, as far as I remember.
And one of the few that I know Christopher Sabat was in.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all know, he does the voice of Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, and so in this series, he does the voice of Kuwabara.
He does Vegeta, he does Piccolo.
Yeah.
I'll argue his Piccolo voice is probably better than Vegeta, but that's me.
Yeah. But back to Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, back to Yu Yu Hakusho. The thing a lot of people, well, at least nowadays, which I didn't realize until like years later, but it was actually kind of like Bleach's predecessor.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. It was like, huh. It's interesting how like coincidental these two are alike
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways, like more ways than one. Like it's like if Naruto is a copy of Dragon Ball Z, Bleach is a copy of this, essentially, and then One Piece would, I guess you could say One Piece is sort of a copy of Rurouni Kenshin, but it's not as strong.
The One Piece in Kenshin's a little not out there, but
Yeah. But Yu Yu Hakusho, man, what a great series. I'm happy we get to talk about this. And I know you guys really wanted to hear us talk about this, so I'm really excited. Should we get started on this?
Yes.
Enough stalling, enough, making everyone wait. It's started already, okay.
So just like the last one, we got like a series of topics. So it's not a lot. It's not a lot to talk about, but we're just gonna dive right into how we got into Yu Yu Hakusho. Which, yes, I had just admitted I actually missed out on the Toonami run when it was still going on. Again,
Okay.
maybe due to time transition because it's
I'll do it for all you folks. Gee, how dare you!
I was waiting for that.
Oh,
I wasn't.
unsubscribe.
I wasn't as far off from watching it as you may think it. I may be, because I think Yu Yu Hakusho, the final episode came out in 06, right? So I didn't get into it until 2008.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of funny because I was right around Yusuke's age around that point. I think the series starts off when he's 14, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like at the right age when I got into it.
And I think I should mention this, but the anime of Yu Yu Hakusho was done by Studio Pierrot.
Oh, gasp!
I know. Same people that brought you the crap like Naruto made an actual good anime series. Who would have thought?
Wait, there's this big mystery cloud people should take into consideration here is that Pierrot, the entire team is not just dedicated to Naruto. Naruto's like its own separate team, and then you've got like other teams like working on other animes. Which it's funny when you bring the Bleach comparison into account because the same team behind Yu Yu Hakusho also did Bleach.
Yeah, and Black Clover, right?
I don't know about Black Clover.
I thought weren't they doing Black Clover? I thought they were doing Black Clover.
I think some of the team from Yu Yu Hakusho's there, but I know for sure the same team from Yu Yu Hakusho also did Bleach. So that, as far as that parallel goes, yeah, it's there.
This is where we're supposed to play the X-Files music. It's conspiracy! I don't know, I can't do it. Fuck it.
I already talked about how I got into it. Well, actually, I didn't explain exactly how I discovered it. So, I actually, if I remember correctly at the top of my head, I was just going through YouTube and just listening to music and whatnot, and I think I stumbled upon the opening, and I watched it, and I was like, well, I remember seeing those characters and ads and whatnot from Toonami, and I came across some of those on YouTube. So then I was like, I gotta check this out. Because I kept telling myself it always looked cool, it looked interesting, but I always missed the time on when it came out. So I don't remember which site it was. I don't think it was Manga Anime. It was somewhere. I checked it out, and that's how I kind of got into it. So I watched it online back in 08. What about you?
I actually saw it came out.
Did you see it right from episode 1, or did you actually
yeah,
a little bit after?
I saw a commercial for it. Again, I saw it was on Toonami. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember it being on American television somewhere.
It was.
And the reason why I say Toonami, because I'm 99% sure it was on Toonami, even if it was on like the late show, because I think it was a little bit more aggressive. But I do remember seeing the commercial for it.
Yeah, as far as I
which was-
remember, Toonami had they did have Yu Yu Hakusho. They eventually got Fork Civil One Piece at one point, but
Yeah,
they had that. They had Naruto. Bleach was on there too.
yeah. But I remember watching the commercial for Yu Yu Hakusho right alongside when Rurouni Kenshin was going.
Mhm.
And that was a boss commercial too. The Bato Sai, the man. He's known as the Bato Sai, the Manslayer. You know.
So good.
But I don't remember the Yu Yu Hakusho commercial trailer for it, but I do remember like it was like, oh, watch this detective with the Grim Reaper. Hi, I'm Botan. Solve all the crime, like, and I was like, this is interesting. Let's watch it. And then I started from the first episode, and my God, was I just blown away. It was so good. In the first episode alone, it was just so good, and I was like, I gotta watch more of this.
Yeah, right. Oh my
Oh,
god.
it was. I can't describe how good it was. It was almost as good as Rurouni Kenshin. I have to say I gotta give it to Rurouni Kenshin above Yu Yu Hakusho, but dang, it's kind of close.
Yeah, like if Kenshin was like a straight like pure perfection scale rating on my end, Yu Yu Hakusho I think would be around Amazing Plus, which is like barely touching it. Barely.
Yeah. If Rurouni Kenshin is a 10, Yu Yu Hakusho is 9.99999, repeating.
That's how good it is.
Yeah, that's how good it is. There's very few flaws with the series though, and it's pretty airtight.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's very airtight. I can't off the top of my head right now. I can't think of a flaw with it. But yeah, but I just remember watching the commercial and be like, I gotta check this out. This is pretty cool. And then I came on and I was so good. It was like, oh, okay, it's on like November 12th, Yu Yu Hakusho on Toonami, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Watch the first episode, and man, the days of our youth, huh?
Yeah, right. Which I gotta say, when it came to me becoming a fan of the show, usually this doesn't happen to me, but I became a fan of the show from day one, like just from the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's Yusuke Urameshi. He's dead. I was like, wait, what?
And credits. Roll credits. You're a high school kid. You die. You're given a second chance. What would you do with it? Beat up everybody who crap about me. I was like, this show gets me.
Right. I was like, yeah, he's dead. There's the Grim Reaper, and I was like, all right. I've seen the Grim Reaper interpretation before, whether it's Billy and Mandy, whether it's so. Actually, I'm trying to think. There's a few other ones too, but
Bleach.
yeah,
I mean, technically she is.
I've seen some interpretations of it, and then I see Botan, and I'm like, that's the last thing I was expecting.
Yeah. Hey, if death looked like that, I don't mind.
Yeah, right.
I can't help it. So we start with the first episode, and Urameshi, Yusuke Urameshi, right?
Yep.
Remember that correctly? Yeah. He's a punk kid, bad at school. He's a a shot caller and everything like that, and he just beats everybody. He's a kid in school, and everyone thought you're gonna be nothing, kid. You're gonna be worth it. The principal was badass.
Mm-hmm. He was.
The principal was pretty cool. And then he's walking down the street, and I'm paraphrasing, of course. So there's a lot of stuff, but it's playing perfection. But I'm gonna do my best here. Walking down the street, sees a kid playing with a ball. Kid starts crying. He helps him, jump up and do some funny stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, Yusuke, you still got it. You may be a jackass, but at least you can make kids happy." Then the kid goes into the street and he saves the kid by jumping in front of the car, and he dies. Roll credits. No.
You would think.
So now he's a spirit, and he meets Death, who's this very blue-haired girl in a Komodo riding Japanese paddle.
Broom, but yeah.
It's some kind of like Japanese paddle. I think they usually use it for like rice cooking, I think,
so,
in giant bats or something like that. I can't remember. I know it was. I know it's something. You know, I know it's something important.
Mhm.
But and she's like, oh, you died, and he's like, oh, so I get to go to heaven, right? Because I saved the kid, and then she lays the bombshell. Actually, you dying was an accident. What? So you leave, tell me.
I was like, if the kid would have gotten grazed a little bit, but he would have survived. So you pretty much died from nothing.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, come on, you could at least lie to me. Lie to me, both. Lie to me. And then both was like, well, don't you fret. We're gonna give you a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to
I think it was Keiko, right? Because we flashbacked a little bit before the car accident happened too.
Yeah.
Like we see Keiko, we see Kuwabara, which I have to say, you want a rival done right in a shonen series?
Oh my god! I'm gonna clap for this. Is how you do a. I mean, Kuwabara is the perfect rival for Yusuke.
He is.
And you have a good rival, and he is. I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but Kuwabara is better. Bond between rivals, and we'll get to that. But he used to get this eye opener because he thinks that nobody cared about him. His mother is drunk. Everyone hates him. His rival always wants to beat him up, and all the time. It's like, oh, they're glad that I'm dead. And then he goes to his funeral. Dude, he goes to his funeral, and he sees everybody just breaking down, crying. And I have to admit, I cried too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like again, this was just episode 1. So what was going on? I was like, okay, I barely know Keiko, I barely know Kuwabara, but damn.
Oh, it right in the right in the Kokoro. For those who don't know, Kokoro is Japanese for feelings or heart, I guess. And with all his buddies, with all their strength, had to pull him back. And I was just like, I'm tearing up just thinking about it right now. I was just like, so good, so good. And then you had the scene where 2 teachers were talking about it, and like, oh, well, good riddance to good track. And the principal comes up and grabs him by the neck and goes, "You're a scumbag to talk about the dead like that. How dare you?" And then he goes and he goes, "Yusuke, I wish you could have put yourself. I believed in you to be better than this." So powerful, so working. It's oh my god! You have to watch it, guys. You got it. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing with your lives? You are not anime fans. You gotta watch these series. If you watch these series for the Road Catcher Yu Yu Hakusho, watch them.
You gotta watch the first episode. At least the first episode.
And then you say like, okay, Botan, I'm okay dying. I'm ready to go. Over. Botan's like, I ain't taking you to the afterlife. What? We're gonna give you a second chance.
He's like, what?
Seriously? Yeah. Then he meets Kawimba, who is the
Dude, I fell out of my seat.
Yeah. Oh god. Imagine a baby, but like, I guess, deity of death. God, because he has a father who's even more powerful. But he kind of controls the afterlife, I guess you could say. And then he's like, oh, he turns to a hottie with adult form, but that's later. But he pulls out this golden egg and he says, Urameshi, because of what your good deeds and everything you've done, we've decided to give you this golden egg that has a beast inside. The spirit beast will reflect off your soul, and it'll, if you're good and if you have a good soul, it'll bring you back to life. But if you're evil and it doesn't like you, it'll swallow you, it devour you, and send you into basically oblivion. So no pressure or anything. He takes care of this egg. He has the egg, and he takes care of it. And as a spirit, he's trying to do some good deeds to try to, feel the good energy. And he helps all his friends. He helps Keiko. He helps Kuwabara with his things, and he helps other people. And Should we keep going about this, or should I just like?
I think we got the gist of what's going on.
Yeah. And then the first 3 episodes are basically explaining how he dies, then comes back to life, and then he becomes the spirit detective of the series. And to keep it short, and I'm not doing this series justice, so guys, go and watch it. But basically, he's out with the egg to save Keiko and his own body, but more to save Keiko and Kuwabara. And he saves them from a fire. And they're like, "Oh, good thing you did that because that beast was actually going to kill you." Make you oblivious. Like, what? But eventually, and there's this funny episode in between where they describe, like, okay, well, we're giving you a chance to come back to life by filling you with spirit energy, and someone's give their life energy to bring you back to life. So he's trying to get somebody to kill his dead body, his cadaver, essentially, and he goes to Kuwabara, which is the funniest scene about it, and then he's like, "Man, I had a weird dream." And then he shows him like picking Urameshi up and starting to kiss him, and he's like, "Ah, God," which was super funny and awkward, but again, plays great to their character dynamic and everything like that. Little spoiler ahead, Kuwabara is actually spirit awareness. He goes kind of like what Ichigo was in Bleach, but he kind of goes and everything like that and has a spiritual awareness. And then eventually he tells Keiko, he manages to tell Keiko about it, and then she goes to kiss him at the very last, and then he comes back to life, and then Botan and Kawimba come back and go, "You're going to be a spirit detective, we're going to need you to do a whole bunch of stuff for us for the spirit world, and, you're going to get cool powers and everything like that," and then that's the start of the adventure.
Yeah, like, that's the initial setup of how everything goes.
Yeah. It's so good, though. It was a great setup. Because you get to see, learn to use Yusuke's character. I know I'm like taking up all the time here, but it's such a good series. And Yusuke, as a character himself, you really get to see his more human side of him, but he's still being the badass kid that he is.
Oh yeah,
it's not like he gives up everything to be the 100% good guy. No, he be the tough kid in school that's, I'm gonna beat you up if you even insult me, and crack his knuckles, and very similar to the Ichigo and Chap relationship a little bit.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's almost similar to Ichigo in some ways.
Yeah, awkward silence. We're just reminiscing right now. It's just the memories are just so good.
Yeah, right.
I think we both rewatched the series.
I was just rewatching it over the past few days.
Yeah, I think we both did. We both got reacquainted with it because it is such a good series, and we don't want to do injustice here.
Yeah. And for the record, you guys, like, at the very least, I try to go back and rewatch Yu Yu Hakusho at least once every year. It just tends to happen. And it's not like I do it on purpose. It's just like, oh, it's been a while. Let me just put it on and just watch it again.
The second hand counts down to the life I lead. Marking off my legacy of worldly deeds. Tick tock tick. I'm sorry. Again, reminiscing. It's nostalgia. I love it.
It's really good. But in saying that, let's go ahead and dive into our favorite character, which at first I thought was going to be pretty simple, and now I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, shit, that's a lot of them.
Yeah.
If I have to narrow it down to just one, Kurama. Easy.
Kurama?
Mm-hmm. And I think I know why. I think because, like, out of all the demons, like, we came across, like, Kurama was the one who was, like, the complete opposite in nature.
Mm-hmm.
To, like, let's say Hiei and the same beasts and all the other demons that we came across. I was like, huh.
I can't pick. I'm sorry.
I actually really liked his backstory, too, with kind of like how he came to be and with his mother. Like that really stuck out to me. Not to mention his sense of humor, too.
Yeah. I can't pick. I'm sorry. They're all really good.
It's tough. It's definitely tough.
I'm gonna give this. So instead of giving you my favorite character, I'm gonna give you some of my favorite attributes of each character. Yusuke, I love the fact Yusuke grows up in this.
Yes.
Actually has great development for a character, and it's not just simplistic, like nihilistic, narcissistic development. It's legit. He knows that he screws up. He knows stuff like that.
It's very much attention in a way.
Yeah, Kuwabara. Kuwabara is just it's yeah. A lot of TV VAs are in this one too. So you got the voice Frieza, you got the voice actor of Android 17, you got the voice actor of Vic Mignogna's in it. So you got the voice actor. I don't think Monica Rial is in it. I don't think she's in it, but
I know, not Monica Rial, but I know Laura Bailey voices Keiko, which she's amazing.
Yeah, Laura Bailey is just, oof. And she does.
She does Kushina from Naruto.
Yeah, and she does Toru from Fruits Basket, which is a drastic difference.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you want a VA that has a wide range, Laura Bailey is it. You know, and she's also in Last of Us Part 2. Anyway, I'm sorry. Did that come out? Anyway,
that's I don't pin that on her, but
no. She was paying it. It's director, not. But anyway, back to topic. Kuwabara, great character. Love his development. Any dimension, like he has no restrictions.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Then you got Kurama, who I'm a demon that became a human. Great,
And then when he transforms into Yoko Kurama.
Yeah, Yoko Kurama. Oh, I'm gay for Yoko Kurama.
Dude, no, when Yoko Kurama first showed up, like I was at the edge of it, he's like, shit.
Voice actor too. It's doing two roles. There's one that's like her, like, oh, I am here because we're doing that, and then you got Yoko Kurama. I see you try to challenge me. I see you have chosen death. He was great with that dichotomy that he has, and how much he gets the character going from a demon to this. Hiei, oh my god, Hiei. I love Hiei because I think he's one of the first male Senais I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the first because he's. I love you. I don't care if you all live or die. But then when push shove, I can't let these guys die. He's just like, I kill every single one of you if it meant my own survival. And they're like, yeah, but if we die, you ain't getting out of here. Crap.
It's Chris Huber. Or no, not Chris. Charles Huber.
That's it. No, Chris Huber. You're right, Chris Huber. What a great role for him.
Yeah, right.
What a great role for him. And again, on the outside, carrying on the inside. A very dichotomy of Yusuke himself of his other side. In fact, actually, every single character is a dichotomy of Yusuke, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the other characters are basically a part of Yusuke that's part of his character. Which is great. That's how you do it. That's how you make characters, or even villains. Villains, you could do that too, like what they did with Batman. But yeah, oh my god, he eventually becomes an actual good guy. But again, these characters, both you think, okay, she's just she's just deaf. She's a girl. She puts up a pretty good fight too.
She does.
Beating people up with a baseball bat, like without hesitation, like. Or should I say tracking? Okay, if you get that reference. Yeah, so Botan is not useless at all, even though she doesn't play a major role, she's not useless at all. She's more of the moral support of the group, but again, that doesn't mean she's useless. It just means she plays a different role than everybody else.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I actually really appreciate about Yu Yu Hakusho is that not everybody has to be a fighter, but they each have their own distinct roles that they play within the story.
Kuwabara's sister, I can't remember her name.
Chizuru, I think is how you say it.
Chizuru, that's it. Chizuru.
Like the moment when she swiped the tickets from.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Oh look, we had our tickets the entire time. What? Hey, what do you mean? These are our tickets, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh God, great. Oh my God. Oh, it's just nothing in the series is wasted. Nothing.
And then the ogre, which, by the way, if anybody doesn't know this, the ogre was an anime only character.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
You wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it because of how well it plays into it, but yeah, anime only character. Such a good series.
For the record, I should say if it's not Kurama, Yusuke would definitely be up there, but I wanted to be like, I think picking the main character is too easy, so let's pick somebody else.
Yeah, but I can't pick. They have to pick all of them.
It's tough, but no, it's really tough.
I mean, could you do it with just Yusuke? Yeah, but you're missing something, you know?
You are.
That oomph that makes a good series to the best series, and that's what the other characters do. That's why I cannot choose them. And then you got Genkai.
Right? Which, by the way, is very different, and if you're wondering how, typically if you look at like a shonen series, as far as the main character goes, it's typically a guy that mentors the main character.
Yeah.
Yu-Yu Hakusho didn't do that. Instead of it being like like an older male, you had an older female, which I have nothing against, and in fact, I actually think that's really cool.
Male at first.
I think at first they thought, they thought it was going to be male.
They thought they're like, that's Genkai. She don't look like much. Genkai, voiced by the same person that does Frieza,
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's really weird hearing Frieza. You idiot! You dumb. You know, like
you dimwit. I always remember that.
Quick, monkey! You know, like you stupid monkey. Yes.
Hello, monkeys. But okay.
You're more than welcome to beg for your lives. Not that I'll listen. Oh, you know.
And keep in mind, folks, this is before Dragon Ball Z. Not Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z. This is before Dragon Ball Z went super weird on its power scaling. But
yeah. These were popular before Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
They really were. These were the line that everyone had somehow seemed to forgot. Like, you know, whenever, oh, what's your favorite '90s anime? Dragon Ball Z. Mine, Rurouni Kenshin, Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's funny. See, people find it so weird when I say this, but to me, the big three were Rurouni Kenshin, Yu Yu Hakusho, and I always say Dragon Ball. I'm like, what about Z? I'm like, Z's cool, but Z doesn't match up to Dragon Ball. My personal opinion.
Yeah. None of you Dragon Ball. Let's be honest. All you Dragon Ball fans out there, raise your hands. Honestly, I know we can't see, but raise your hands. Have you actually seen Dragon Ball, or are you just like you vaguely know about it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, honestly, this one's actually going to be a lot tougher. Least favorite character in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, I hate you. I hate you so much.
You thought Kenshin was bad? I think this one's worse. Yeah,
like this is so. I can't even say Pooh. Yes, that's an actual character. I can't even say Pooh because Pooh is really good.
Well, okay. What about the Four Saint Beasts? Like, is there anything substantial about them? I thought of like being obstacles.
They're not enough to hate.
Say what now?
They're not important enough to hate.
Yeah, like I don't hate them. I'm just thinking like I think from the dichotomy of characters we have, okay, maybe the Four Saint Beasts, maybe, but maybe that's just going a little too easy.
Oh God, that's such a hard one. Because even the villains were really good.
Yeah.
Even the scumbag teachers were really good, because you get this... I
don't know.
Alright, I forgot to mention one other character that I really, really like.
Who?
Jin.
Jin. I was like, no, Jin and Chu. Oh my god.
The Irish elf wind user.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the only one to make Yusuke laugh the entire time.
Yeah, right off the gate.
I want you all to keep in mind something about this. So all these characters that get that originally enemies at first, most become Yusuke's best friend by the end of the series.
Yeah, even the kid with the yo-yo. Which I'm surprised I'm actually blanking on his name right now.
Yeah. If they don't die, they become Yusuke's best friend, which a lot of people think is a cop-out, but there's no, talk no jutsu or any kind of that. He literally just beats the crap out of them, and then they have just that utter respect for him.
That's what happens. They have, an intense fight, but then afterwards, they're like, I kind of respect you. Which I don't see a lot of other shonen doing as often, but, hey.
Okay, I think I have the least favorite character.
Oh.
I think I have one. He's not long-lived in this, but he is my least favorite.
Yeah.
So, when they were doing Genkai, right? And Genkai was doing the little tournament thing to, see who her star pupil was going to be.
Oh, wait, was it that one character who, grows and whatnot, who was, messing with Kuwabara? Was that the one?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
He's probably my least favorite. Honestly, he's a pretty good character. What makes his character is that he's, out of all the characters I've seen, he's probably the most cliche.
Yes, I can definitely agree with you on that. He's the most cliche character out of all the other characters in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that too. That's what I'd go for.
I mean, he's a villain, and he had good powers and everything like that, but he was just cliche. His dialogue was very, not interesting enough. In fact, the only thing I found interesting about him was how he got defeated.
Yeah, that was the only standout thing about him, but in terms of, an actual characterization, it's okay, I've seen this before.
Yeah, it's a stereotypical shonen villain.
Yeah.
I want to gain all the powers in the world, yeah.
I was gonna say that, out of every other character, I think he's the only standout, so...
He's not important enough to I remember his name.
I mean, like I said, you could lump in the four same beasts, but they're more like obstacles than anything.
Yeah. Except for maybe the last one.
True. There's that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beatbox on that flute.
It's like Keiuya from Naruto.
Yeah.
Best female villain, by the way, guys. Or should I say the only female villain in Naruto? Only.
Next podcast: female heroes and villains in anime. Hit it or quit it. Kaguya, quit it. Psycho bitch. Yeah. I mean, so all the characters, he's the only one that I think has the weakest argument that I have, because he's so cliche. And like I said, the way he's defeated is interesting. So, for those of you who are interested in how this character gets defeated, should I spoil it?
Go for it. I mean, I don't think it's too big, but it's,
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge JoJo Bizarre Adventure fan. One thing I liked about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I want to bring this up, is, before I get into what I'm going to talk about, but in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, problems aren't solved by power levels, like in Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or something like that. They're solved by actual creative thought processes. Even if it's, a little ridiculous, it's still feasible, It requires foresight, but it's still, feasible, that's interesting, or that's unbelievable, I can't believe he did that somehow. It's so interesting in the fact that it actually took problem solving and not just, my number's bigger than yours, which is very rare to see. Yu Yu Hakusho is a lot like that, where it's practical problem solving, and very few times I got a bigger number than yours, but this one time, Yusuke's fighting him, and he has this ability where he really long chant. And for the person that's hearing it, they shrink down to a size of like an action figure, and then he can like break their arm and everything. Very brutal to Kuwabara with snapping his arm like that, which is anyway. He tries with the Yusuke after he falls to the muck, which is under like this swampland. He falls to the muck and then comes back up, and more or less, somewhat. I don't want to knock Yusuke out, but kind of knocks him to the ground, and then he tries to do the chant because he's like overzealous and everything like that. Tries to, oh, I'm gonna humiliate you in the worst way possible, and he does chant, but reverberates and comes back on him, and then he's the one that shrinks. And it's like, what happened? I don't know. It was supposed to shrink the person, and then Yusuke gets up and goes, I got swamp mud in my ears, and then he pulls his ears out, and it's like, the other person is like can't hear or is deaf. It won't work on him and actually reverberate back onto the user chanting it. Which is very creative, I have to say. It's very. I didn't see that one coming.
Oh yeah, I didn't either. I was like, huh.
And then, what did Yusuke do? I don't have enough energy to really hit you, so I'm just gonna use gravity to do my job. And then he just slowly topples the top of the guy and crushes him. And he's just like, and I was like, yes, I love this series. And character, not so great. The way he defeated, awesome.
It's like, alright, as cliche as you are, you at least went out pretty interesting. So
yeah. I wish I could remember his name though.
Dang. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Alright.
Since we're bringing it up right now. Spirit Detective stuff.
And all the users like, oh, you call yourself anime fans and can't remember names? Screw you all.
Hey, I gotta figure it out. Compared to the Kenshin discussion we did, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Hey. You in the comments like, unless it's named Goku or Vegeta, you have no clue what their name is. Hey, 16, you want to go to... Did you just say Goku anime in a nutshell? Anime fans in a nutshell right there.
Are you kidding? That was...
What?
Yeah. His name was Rando. No
Rando, yeah! Rando! I'm your worst nightmare.
That's how relevant he is, guys. Because his name almost spells it to Rando. Okay, here's Higurashi, here's Yusuke, here's this guy, and then there's this guy. What's his name? Randy. You know, like... Randy! Nah, it's like, it's not really spoiling much for Fairy Tail, but it's like you go to Fairy Tail. It's like you got Tempesta, Torafusa, Silver, Kyoka, and then this one guy with a skeleton face, his name is Keys. It's like, that's it.
I once knew a guy with one arm and a peg leg. What'd you name him? Larry.
Oh man. Yeah, Randy.
Pop culture references.
We'll just stick with that.
No, I want to do a funny AMV. Randy, that people.
Oh man. In saying that, I think we should get on to. And I think this topic might be a little tougher. Favorite arc, which it's tough because you've got the Dark Tournament and then you've got Chapter Black.
I gotta give it the Dark Tournament. I'm gonna be very cliche here. Dark Tournament.
Actually, now that I think about it, and I just thought about this too, Dark Tournament actually does set up a lot of things for the rest of the series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a shonen trope at this point. You have to have it usually sets up everything else in the series.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Naruto, they had the Chunin exam tournament, which set up all the other characters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball has many tournaments. always introduces the new characters, shape or form.
As far as Dragon Ball goes, like, you got the first tournament, you got the second, and then the last one.
Hell, that's how Boo Saga started. Remember, the Boo Saga started with a tournament.
You're right.
That's how that got kicked off, because they had the two Majin guys.
You had that. Even the Cell games, that was a tournament too.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z, better. Oh no, the world's in danger. Better have a tournament.
Let me ask you this question. Name a shonen series from the popular trend that doesn't have a tournament arc.
Rurouni Kenshin.
It's a good one.
I don't remember a tournament ever in that one.
There's one more.
I'm lost.
Bleach.
Yeah, Bleach doesn't have one either.
Yeah, like, I didn't catch on to that until a couple years ago. I was like, now that I think about it, Bleach has no tournament arc.
Yeah. Kubo's like sitting there like, dang it, I should have put one in. Get the script going longer.
Well, he's working on Burn the Witch, so he might have something like that for that one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this tournament arc, guys. People say tuning exams, people say the Hunter exams, which the Hunter exams is pretty cool, not gonna lie. Tuning exams is great. They don't top the Dark Tournament.
No.
They don't top the Dark Tournament at all.
Not even close. You thought the Neji versus Naruto fight was like, oh, that's the pinnacle. You thought like Goku versus what? Tien was that great in Dragon Ball? No. Nothing compared to the Dark Tournament.
No, it's true.
And no villains were alike. Every villain had their own tactic.
It's like, no, and then you're gonna get the new generation. Well, what about the UA Sports Festival? No, not even.
No,
not even.
Get out of here with that. No,
like that arc doesn't compare to what the Dark Tournament is. Oh my god,
I can't even begin. Oh, and like I said, no villain was ever alike. All the personalities were different. The powers were different.
Mm-hmm.
And each character was one way to defeat the other. It was like, okay, I managed to defeat this guy using this stuff. That ain't gonna work on this. I gotta use something completely different. Oh, and then you got Toguro.
Which, I should also say this for the Dark Tournament. Things always go left and right for the hero. It's never straightforward. Like, you think it's gonna go one way, and then the next second, something happens, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, whether you're in the ring or something going on behind the scenes, it's like, you will have, like, whether it's in the ring, or it's, like, somewhere behind the committee. Like, something will happen, and you're just in there going, like, oh, cool, they won! And now we're switching over.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah. It's Team Urameshi. Okay. And then they got done. We're all exhausted. We can't fight anymore. We need a raid. Okay, next fight. Team versus Team Urameshi. What? How could they do this?
Yeah, right.
It might be a flaw, but a little bit silly that they can keep going as long as they did. Mm-hmm. But you do still feel the desperation from the character. I accidentally activated Star Platinum the World. But that's like, they just got done with the fight, and they're like, alright, now it's your team versus another team again, and they're like 100%, you guys are maybe at like 75, 50%, and they're like, we just fought, give us a break, and they're like, no.
That's the thing, the sense of danger was always present.
Yeah. And there's a reason for it. It's not like just coincidental. There actually is a plot reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, because was against Yusuke and his friends it was literally rigged.
It was. Like, from the beginning.
Speaking of the Dark Tournament and everything like that, I find that we should talk about our favorite villain.
Yes. So villain-wise, there's two particular villains that stand out from Yu Yu Hakusho. There's Tagoro, or I should say younger Tagoro, because people don't really talk about the older brother, but he's there. So there's younger Tagoro, and then there's Sensui. Are arguably the best villain in all of a shonen anime. Right up there with Shishio.
Yeah.
It's a tough pick, because it's like, alright, there's Tagoro, and then there's Sensui with his whole thing with being, and it's kind of funny if you parallel it to Bleach, because you also got Ginjo too. They were both the previous spirit detective in a way.
Yeah.
But in terms of Sensui, and I'm probably blanking on this, but I think he had like 6 different personalities. I think. I want to say it's 6, but we can check.
It might be
7.
And some, yeah. And it's not necessarily like evil villains, but some of them actually had really good morals to them.
Mm-hmm.
But really,
between Tagoro and Sensui.
Yeah. Well, Tagoro, it's cliche, but to go with the main villain of the arc. But I mean, he was that good of a villain. I mean, this dude. Okay, so he had a younger brother, the younger Tagoro brother, and the younger Tagoro brother fought Kuwabara. Kuwabara, just basically won. And then, like, they named it in the match of Kuwabara. Then Tagoro comes to fight, and then the younger Tagoro comes back, and Tagoro looks at his younger brother and just straight up just knocks him into orbit.
He kicks, dude. I remember I saw that and I was like, and here's the trigger behind it, because they were mocking Genkai, and Tagoro straight up looked at me like, okay, look, I may be a dick, but I don't go that far.
Yeah, but he was some like rude. Did you know that Genkai and Tagoro used to be lovers? Yeah, they were getting it on nasty, and
I know.
And I was like, dang.
I was like, okay.
Never say that Tagoro wasn't. At least had honor with him being a villain.
Mm-hmm.
And like honorable Tagoro was as a villain. When they found out that the committee was cheating in the Dark Tournament, one of the other guys, he actually had Tagoro go up and flick the guy into the head, which just basically knocked his head off with just a flick of his finger.
That's it, dude. It was only just a flick of a finger, just one flick, and it was like, damn, if he's that powerful right now,
yeah. Yeah, you all remember Deco doing it with the flick, right? If he's like, he done that a few times. I know in his arc he did that too against what's his face, the ice fire guy. And then I'm not that caught up with My Hero. I apologize for that. But I remember the tournament. He flicked the ice away using his offer one. To that, like he was bored.
Right?
I'm gonna curse again at this one, but basically compared to that, Tago's like, bitch, please.
Pretty much. That's what happened. It was like, you really think you're gonna do this shit? No.
I'm gonna give you 1% power.
No, and I remember when I saw that, I was like, shit, if that's only just from one finger flick, what would the actual strength be like when he's in the ring? Oh, not to mention when the ring actually gets destroyed, and he picks up the other ring from the other stadium. I was like, jeez.
Yeah, it was using 40% of the power just to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, how does that compare to everything else? Okay, him at 100% was killing people just by standing next to him. like all the demons were spontaneously combusting, like next to him, and he was like, so this is how powerful this dude was.
Yeah, there's that, and the one thing I love about not just Tagore as a villain, but like okay, so he shows up, and you're initially thinking, okay, you may look a little stereotypical, but as the arc progresses, like you start seeing more and more layers to him.
Oh yeah,
especially towards the end. Because, at first you'd be like, look, like the world's just been so cruel, and you're thinking, okay, maybe it's just like one of those typical things. But then when you find out what the reasoning is, like, oh, holy shit.
You start to feel a little bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can't because you realize how much of a scumbag he's been.
And even like when you look at his final fate at the end, like Kuwabara was willing to be like, hey, look, like you've done some good deeds, and I'm willing to like waive some of that stuff. And he says, no, look, I did what I did. I deserve that punishment.
Yeah, Kuwabara's we can. What did he say? Like he was after all was done. Like Kuwabara was like, as bad as you've been, I still see a lot of good in you. Maybe we can just give you like a punishment deserving and then give you a second chance. And he's just like purgatory. He opted for purgatory.
Yeah, it's like what was going on inside that he was going to get a waiver. He's like, now look, I deserve that. I want to go around.
I will say Shishio in Rurouni Kenshin is a better villain than Tagoro.
So what now?
Shishio, Lord Shishio.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say he's a better villain.
Oh yeah.
Because here's the difference. Tagoro goes out, I'm gonna go to purgatory. I just do everything I get. Shishio. Lord Shishio, what are we gonna do today? What do you think? Try to take over hell.
Yeah, he did say
that. And I was like, oh!
I was like, so badass.
Like if the shoe fits, laid the bitches up and walked out.
Mm-hmm. You were talking about comparing him to Shishio. I think your point.
Yeah, Tagoro, he's such a great villain.
He is,
but I think Lord Shishio a little bit better because if you're gonna be evil, you gotta take it all the way. I like villains that are actually evil for the evil.
Mm-hmm.
And like a British, like, oh, that doesn't seem very nice. Of course not. I'm evil. And I guess they're kind of desensitized me to this a little bit, but then when you go back to the old series, you find the villains that actually are villainous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of refreshing. Yeah, you can have a tragic backstory all you want, but you have to make decisions in your own life. And that's what I like about these villains. They don't apologize for what they did. They know what they're doing. They know it's wrong. And if they get punished for it, yeah, they can be a little bit remorseful and say, yeah, I deserve the punishment that I get. But they're not sorry for doing it. They're just, accepting of the punishment that they get for it.
Pretty much. Now, and I get the feeling people are going to ask about this if we don't tackle it. What do you think Tagoro has as a villain that Sensui doesn't?
What did Tagoro have that Sensui didn't?
Yeah, because I was thinking about Sensui just now, and I'm thinking, so, because as far as I remember from Sensui, it was like, Koenma tasked him to, it was very black and white, where it was like, take out the demons, and whatnot. And then his entire world flipped because he saw humans like having pleasure in taking out said demons, and it messed with his head. And after that, I think Sensui was just like, no.
I don't know if it's better or worse. It's just different.
It's different, yeah.
Tagoro, I don't think saw the darker side of humanity.
That's true.
He saw the darker side of demons. The darkest, and that's what made him lose faith in a lot of things, and why he wanted to become more powerful, because he wanted to be the strongest demon kind of thing. And he had the strong purpose of, like, power equates to control. If he had more power, he can control everybody, kind of thing. And that was the whole idea. It was all about gaining control. That he was the one that was always dictating orders. Because of just how corrupt he saw the demon world was, And then there were some good demons. There are demons that don't really want to, excuse me, they don't really want to, have it. They just want to exist, kind of thing. And he would leave them alone. It's when, the demons, became too political or too corrupt or too anything and then tried to do shit,
Yeah.
And then, specifically, he was protecting humanity was a good thing, and it's different. And then he sees the dark side of humanity, and then he's like, well, why should I protect these humans when they're going to be just as bad, if not worse, than the demons that I'm fighting? And it really shows that these two characters, this is what they have in common, they only see it in black and white.
Yeah, they only saw, one aspect of it and not the other.
Yeah, and Yusuke is the opposite of it, because he is a shade of gray, and he is in that gray spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So if Toguro is black and white, and Setsui is black and white, then Yusuke is the gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, humanity can be scumbagish, we know this, but that doesn't mean that every single human is trash. Some of them are actually good people, and we experience that, So it's different. I don't want to say one is better than the other because it's just they're too different to really make that comparison. They're just way too different. I will say Sensui is a little bit more effed up.
Oh yeah, with the personalities and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, it really got dark. And by the way, as a side thing, I will say this: Sensui, for those of you who don't know, it is actually the first gay relationship we've seen in a shonen. To my recollection, anyway.
And the cool thing about that is, it's very subtle. You don't it's one of those things where you may not even notice it at first.
Yeah, but that's the great part. See, today, and I'm sorry if I'm going to go political with this a little bit, this is the problem with some of those modern stories of today where they bring up, oh, this character's gay, this character's this character's transgender, this character's... Okay, that's fine. That's not the problem. What the problem is that the only thing that describes this character.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what these writers are waiting. Oh, he's gay, he's gay, he's gay, he's gay. Okay, he get it, he's gay. What else is he? Does he like to collect stamps? Does he like to collect keychains? Does he hate apples? I don't know. Give me something else to work with. Maybe he likes drawing. I don't know. Then this was great about Sensui is it was less about himself and more about who he was as an individual.
Oh yeah.
His gay lover and everything like that. That was a background thing. That was so subtle that we didn't even know until the final episode of his arc.
Yeah, it was that. That's how irrelevant it was. It was it's there, but it's not the forefront of oh, so that's the kind of character he is. No, that's something you find out super late.
Yeah, and then when it finally revealed, it was so meaningful and hard spoken.
Mm-hmm.
That it felt well, at least they have something left, At least there's something. And again, these villains, they never regret their actions.
They don't.
They know what they're doing. They know that what they're doing is what it is, but it is what they believe, and they're convicted to it, and whatever punishment they get from it, fully accepting of it all.
And if you think about it, Sensui actually won.
Oh yeah.
If you really look at it. Because you also find out that he was dying of cancer. And instead of him being taken out, through his own complications, he just, he wanted someone to defeat him.
Yeah.
So, on the surface, it's alright, yeah, Yusuke, Kuwabara, Hiei, and Kurama, and Botan, and Keiko, and Chizuru, they saved the day. But, it happened because that's how he wanted it.
Yeah. I mean, okay, here's and since we have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
Both want to be proven wrong. That is the one desire that they wanted above everything else. They want to be proven wrong. Imagine Dragon Ball, right? Imagine he was a villain until he was proven wrong, and that's all he wanted.
Oh yeah.
Imagine Pain in Naruto. Imagine Pain if he just came out in Naruto and says, I just wanted to be proven wrong. I wanted to be proven that there was hope. And maybe that was the vision of Pain, but it was just missed out. It was a missed opportunity to really drive that home. You know what I think though? That might explain a lot.
It might. If we delved into some of that thing for Pain, I think it would have easily made him one of the best. I mean, he's still one of the best villains in Naruto, but I think it would have elevated him a lot more.
Yeah. That does make sense, doesn't it? Like, now I really, I know we're going off topic here, but that really makes sense with Pain. He just wanted to be proven wrong. And that's what Toguro and Sensui was. It's just, we wanted to be proven wrong. And for some reason, I don't know about you, Lucky Sheep, but I get that.
I do too.
You ever have those moments where you have a viewpoint, people are like, well, you're wrong, and I'm like, and like, someone's like, you're wrong about that? That's not the way I think, and you're like, please, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I want to be proven wrong.
I've had those moments too.
I want to be wrong. I want to believe that what I'm thinking is wrong. Because if I am wrong about this, then there is hope. And there is good. God, that's such a great plot. That's just a great villain plot point. Especially for a villain who's willing to sacrifice everything that they are to prove that point. I just blew my own mind. I just completely blew my own mind now that I think about it. Wow. Sorry, I'm processing this.
You're just thinking, I go like, whoa.
Like, I've reached enlightenment. Like,
Yeah, and honestly, and I think that this is why I always go back to Yu Hakusho, because like if you look at the villains, again, they're not your stereotypical villains. Yes, they have the tragic backstories, but they go beyond that.
Oh yeah. Multi-dimensional villains.
Mm-hmm. It's something you wish. No, Black Clover's got some of it too. I gotta think about that one. But as far as like recent, like modern shonen goes, I don't really see too much of that.
It's like retrospect Greg said about some of the Naruto villains.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all can't be this. So it has to be Frieza. You know?
Yeah.
And again, back to Yu Hakusho's and all their villains, it's like you got the wide range of villains. You got the villains that just want destruction. You got the villains that just want power. You got the villains that want to be proven wrong. You got the villains that are greed and money and everything like that. It's a wider range. This is where Naruto fails. Because every single villain is the same things, maybe one or two. And it just fails because, you know, there are some villains that, like, you could talk to me all day you want to. I'm not going to change my mind, you know, unless you actually show me what I'm wrong. And that's where you got to give respect to Toguro and Sensui. It's just they wanted to be proven wrong, but they wanted to be proven wrong in such a way that someone put up resistance, that they were strong enough to put up that resistance, and that's why Yusuke was so great, because he could put up that resistance.
Yeah.
And Yusuke was like, you know, I used to be just like you. I used to be just like you.
Yeah.
I used to be you.
And it's kind of like what you said too, like there's a piece of Yusuke in Toguro. Like Toguro was Yusuke if Yusuke went down like a much darker path, and even more so with Sensui, because you know Sensui was the last spirit detective before Yusuke.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Sensui a really good villain. Mm-hmm. Even better than Toguro, because he actually connects with Yusuke in that aspect.
Yeah.
Unlike you, I lost humanity, and Yusuke is like, you know, I was almost like you. Mm-hmm. And then I saw the love that some people have for me, and I realized that there is something to fight and live for.
And the crazy thing is, guys, the entire chapter Black Saga was used as a blueprint for Bleach for Fullbring, which I find ironic because a lot of people say Fullbring isn't exactly the best arc in Bleach.
It might be a secret genius.
Say what now? It
might be what they call the unseen genius.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even now, when I'm just going back and thinking about Pain, go back and really think about it. Watch Yu Yu Hakusho and then go back and think about that Bleach arc. I bet you it's going to hit you like, this is the arc of all time. guys, if you're anime fans, again, I'm repeating myself again. If you are anime fans as much as we are, if you love anime as much as us, please watch these series. I promise you, they will blow your mind.
They will. They really will.
I know you like Naruto. I know you like Dragon Ball Z. It's a good start, but there's so much better series out there. Please go watch them.
And especially for all you Bleach fans out there, y'all love Bleach. Y'all need to check out the Yu-Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, this ain't your granddaddy's. This ain't your daddy's Bleach.
That's a good one.
You know, this is your grandpappy's. If your grandpa didn't watch it, you wouldn't exist.
Pretty much. Hell, if Yu Yu Hakusho didn't exist, I'm pretty sure Bleach really wouldn't be what it is. Because if you look at it, like, Bleach was almost kind of used as a blueprint from
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And the inspiration has to come from somewhere. You might as well know where it's come from.
Yeah. It's kind of something I wish I caught on to sooner, because I remember, like, I got into Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho around the same time, and it wasn't until, like I mentioned earlier, like years later, and I was like, wait a minute, they're almost similar.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it, though. I watched it even before you did, and, you know, and I didn't even think about it.
Right?
And then we had, you know, cause all you guys, thanks to you guys, wanted really us to, like, dive into Yu Yu Hakusho, and I was like, and it gets even more when you realize, like, oh, Yusuke is the son of a demon that came to the human world, and like, uh-oh. You know?
Yeah, right?
And I was talking to Lucky She about this today, but, you know, I was like, yeah, I think one of the flaws of Bleach was that Ichigo was kind of a little bit of a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they introduce a new, like, species into the series, like, oh, it just so happens that Ichigo is part of that. Oh, here's the Soul Reapers. Oh, Ichigo's part Soul Reaper. Oh, here come the Quincy's. Oh, look, Ichigo's part Quincy. Here comes the Hollows. Oh, look, Ichigo's now Hollow.
I know we're going a bit off track here, but I think one of Kubo's biggest traits was that he, like, despite having those aspects included in Ichigo never seemed powerful, like, or at least overpowerful compared to who he was facing.
Yeah, and again, this is deriving from Yusuke, from Yu Yu Hakusho, because what was Yu Yu Hakusho? Like, he's like, oh, how can I keep doing this? You know, cause it's that great scene with Genkai. You know, he's like, oh, how do you keep doing this for like 16 hours? This is ridiculous. And then she's like, look how much energy you still have, and you say you're weak, you know? And I was like, Ichigo right there. You think he's about to lose, you think he's back against the wall, and then he gets into determination. He gets that resolve, which, oh my god, that was another good scene with between Ichigo and Urahara. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That guitar, you know, oh, that was one of my favorite scenes. But again, look back at Yu Yu Hakusho, exactly the dynamic.
Exactly the same thing.
Exactly the same. You know, all the villains, all right, let's go after your girlfriend. You better not. You know, and then all of a sudden he has so much energy, and then he fights back.
I mean, even if I know people want to say the Ichigo and Orihime relationship kind of mirrors Yusuke and Keiko. Kind of?
No. No.
Well, I'm saying, okay, like, in terms of, like, the concept of it, I could see it, but Yusuke and Keiko was, like... Here's the thing that I give Yusuke and Keiko, and we'll talk about it a little later, but it was just laid out from the beginning in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Again, I'm going to go off a tangent on this one. I hate the pairing of pairings and relationships, because it's like you can't pick and choose anymore about this.
No, you can't.
And we talk about this discussion, especially with a lot of Narahina fans. Well, why don't you like Ichigo and Orihime then? Why do you like Ichigo and Rukio then? It's, you know, and it's plain as day, especially when you have Orihime share the same VA with Hinata, you know.
Well, as far as English goes.
Yeah, at least with English, it's it's the same character, essentially the same character. Or, I mean, I know there's differences. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying at the core level, Yusuke and Keiko, it's different. Why? Why is it different? Because Keiko was always there for him since the beginning.
It's the same reason with the Kenshin and Karu.
Yeah. No, she didn't fight everybody. No, she didn't hold it. But that didn't mean she wasn't less important.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to it. Ichigo Norihime, she actually had power. She tried to help. She tried to fight. Yeah, there's moments of damsel in distress, but at least it was warranted. There was a reason.
At least.
She didn't make herself the damsel in distress, and this is where Narihime fails out. You Keiko.
It was mutual. I think that's the other thing. It was mutual. They both liked each other. And this actually goes back to Tagoro, too, because Yusuke brought a point to Tagoro. See, unlike you, I actually want to grow old with her. And I was like, damn.
Oh.
Like, that hit me. I was like, shit.
Keiko's smoking! Keiko's smoking! Oh.
I mean, we'll dive a little bit more into the romance side of things, but I think that's a good way to jump into the journey of Yusuke. So, what did you learn? What's your biggest takeaway? And how does he compare to other shonen protagonists? Here's what I'll say, and I'm going to say my thoughts on him once.
Mm-hmm.
I love that with Yusuke, like, he essentially is kind of a punk kid, and I think that what gravitates you towards Yusuke is kind of like what you said, like, people say, like you're not gonna do anything, nothing's gonna come your way, and then, you get the second chance, and it's not a redemption story per se, but it's like, it's kind of like that tale of growth, if you will. You see the character go from being not insignificant, but kind of being like a punk. He goes from being a punk to someone who like really starts to caring about other individuals. I mean, again, you look at the whole dynamic with him and Kuwabara, where at first it's like they don't really see eye to eye, but then as the story goes along, you see with where he goes, and even more so when Kurama was about to give up his life to save his mother, and Yusuke said, "No, I don't think you should do that because I went through an experience similar to that when I when I died, and my mom was crying, and I don't want that same feeling for your mother too." And keep in mind, all of that, like that whole aspect was like early on in the series. Like you see him grow like within a matter of episodes, but it doesn't stop there. Like you see him like continuing to grow even further too.
Yeah.
When he sees Tagoro, when he sees a Sensui, even more so when he goes to Demon World, because he got the whole Mozuku transformation, which was great, by the way. And when he meets his dad, like it was one of those decisions where he was like, "Okay, you know what? I need to go there. I need to meet this guy who decided to take over my body and figure out what the hell's going on." But ultimately, and here's the best thing that I love about Yusuke as a character is that, like, he tried his hardest to win in the end, and he lost. But he wasn't crying and wailing in misery. He took it for what it was.
Yeah, he took the ass kickings. But again, this is playing into another dynamic. He was just like Tagoro in that he wanted to be proven wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time, my life is nothing. People would be happy if I'm dead and gone. Everybody would be like celebrating and joyous celebration when I die. And then he actually does die, and then everybody's really upset.
Yeah.
And it's an eye opening. And I hope people walk away from this series looking at Yusuke and reflect upon that, because he is me and you. He is that growing up teenager, that angst, that high school drama where you think that you're so pathetic. You know, like the only way that you can make a point is if you're a rule breaker, that you stand out, that if you just fight with everybody, that you could get somewhere. And then when you're gone, you will miss people. And then when you are actually gone, people miss you. And I think all of us have been there at least once. I know I have. We thought about it. We were at the lowest point in our time. We thought, our life is meaningless. We don't have anything for it. And then we see all the people that we hurt. You see all the people that actually get, even the worst enemies that we think, like, just hate us, like Kuwabara, and you see them, and they're fighting against everything to tell you're supposed to be me. You're supposed to be my guiding light. I'm supposed to fight you because I'm supposed to prove to myself that I'm stronger than you. Because you are the strongest. And when you look back at that, and you get that second chance, it's a heartwarming story where you don't get many chances in life to do the right thing. And Yusuke is the story of a person getting that second chance. The only thing he fails at, but he does eventually get by the end of the series, and this is what the whole series is a journey of, is he cares more about others than he does his own life. And you see this constantly. You see this with Kurama, you see this with relationship with Keiko, you see this relationship with everybody where he's willing to put himself through bodily harm, sacrifice his life, sacrifice everything that he loved, cared about, sacrifice everything to make everyone else happy. Because he thinks that his life is worth nothing. Only to find that him just being around is enough. And that's a huge lesson. That really is such a really big lesson for anybody. And we all, like I said, we all go through it. I've been through it. You matter. You matter in more ways than you can ever understand. And you influence people every single day. Never take your life for granted, because you never know those people that count on you to be there. And this is the lesson that Yusuke learns throughout the entire series. And I've never seen another series really be this heartfelt about it. I've never seen Dragon Ball get this deep. I've never even seen Rurouni Kenshin be this deep.
Mm-hmm.
At least a reflection about that. I've never seen Naruto get this deep.
Naruto, what'd you say, One Piece too?
Bleach is on that.
Or do you think One Piece is a little tricky since it's not over yet?
One Piece, I can't use that series yet. I gotta see what the ending is.
Yeah.
I gotta wait till the whole series ends to see what it really is. One Piece is more of a follow your dreams kind of thing, and never let anybody tell you otherwise.
Oh yeah.
If I have to give the comparison, and again, we've been doing this the entire time, is Bleach. Oh, that's Ichigo. Ichigo is the kind of person that's like, it's not about me, it's about everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then you learn over time that you're going to have to live. Because, hey, Ichigo, yeah, you don't want to hurt everybody you love, right? Exactly, you want to protect them, right? Well, then I guess you better stay alive. Why? Because if you die, you're hurting everybody that you love and loves you. So keep fighting. No matter how bad it may seem, keep fighting. And this, I think both Ichigo and Yusuke have in common is keep fighting. Even if not for yourself right now, find another reason. Fight for somebody else. Hell, there was moments I wanted to die. That I thought about ending it. Life was totally useless. And then I thought about it, and where would I be today with the podcast crew, with Lucky G, Blue Star, For Life, Steve, every one of you guys. What would you guys be today if I just ended it? Even before.
It'd be totally different.
It would be totally different. And I know all of you have at least told me at least once in your life that you all started your own YouTube channel because of the podcast, because you got influenced because of the podcast. That makes me feel awesome. I know For Life at least told me that once. He's like, ever since the podcast, I wanted to do my own thing, and great,
Yeah, I mean, I know I started off my channel somewhat before I ran into the podcast crew, but it definitely influenced me a lot into taking it forward.
Yeah, and I'm getting a little emotional about this, but it makes me feel happy knowing that.
Mm-hmm.
That you can do something you thought was just for fun, so insignificant, that you could make so insignificant, and yet it influences people in such big ways. And now we have so many videos, so many contents, so many discussions. We even right now that everyone's listening to. It's about our favorite stuff, and you, the listeners out there, can listen to us talk about this stuff, reminisce, talking about the good old days, or times that we were growing up and watching these series, and really get the we have. If you haven't watched Yu Yu Hakusho and got that feeling, I think you kind of missed out on that message. If any of you haven't watched Yu Yu Hakusho and you want to get into it and you want to watch it, I want you to keep that message in mind about that. Like, really reflect on how Yusuke is you. So you all know Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. He was supposed to be that insert. Yusuke does a whole much better job. He is you. He's that insert. He's the problem kid. He causes problems. He does this. And then you realize how much he affects the world. How much people care about him. How much it doesn't mean anything, but deep down, you influence people more than you ever could realize. So until you find yourself, do it for them. I know it's, believe me, like Yusuke is a prime example. It's hard. This life is, this world is hard. But there's always a reason to keep going. There's always a reason to keep going. So never lose faith in that.
I 100% agree with you there.
Yeah. He's given a second chance. Not all of us get that. Yusuke was given a second chance, and he used it to the fullest as much as he could. Let that be a real lesson. Never for anything, because you never know. Even the most problematic people growing up could have a heart of gold that you don't even know.
And for those who are thinking about wanting to get into Yu Yu Hakusho, here's the great thing about it: there's only 4 seasons, only 28 episodes.
Yeah. It's a very tight-knit series. Sorry, I went a little deep there, but this is how much Yu Yu Hakusho really is. It's a good series.
It really is, and to get into how Yusuke compares to other shonen protagonists, well, it's like what we've been saying. He's very similar to Ichigo, if not better than Ichigo in many ways.
Yeah. Same message. Ichigo's a little more shallow.
Yeah.
It's not as deep. It's not
like there are like deep aspects of Ichigo in Bleach that I do love, but I think it falls under the entire the shonen trope thing where like you fall.
Yeah.
It occurs too often in Bleach. I think
it's kind of like a, how do I want to say it? It's like a kiddie pool versus a swimming pool. You can get fun out of a kiddie pool, don't get me wrong, but if you're in a swimming pool, it's great to do laps. Oh, yeah. Yu Yu Hakusho is a swimming pool,
Mm-hmm.
The kiddie pool is great, or above ground pool, I guess you could say. It's smaller, you get swimming out of it, but it's not as great as an in-ground big swimming pool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little silly here on this one, but it's the best way. It's the best way I can describe it. It's Bleach good. It's just not as good as it could be. There's a lot of potential that was missed out on it. Yeah, like you can see it. If you watch Yu Yu Hakusho, you can see the potential Bleach had, and then where it kind of fell short.
Yeah, like, and I always tell people this too. It's like, I think Bleach, if it had ended with the Aizen fight, maybe not on par with Yu Yu Hakusho, but pretty close.
Aizen.
Mm-hmm.
You ever still kick ass while you're strapped to a chair?
No, I still remember the ending. I know we're making this comparison, but y'all should know Bleach at this point. When Ichigo's there, all his friends are out there. He's losing his powers. Rukia is fading away. I'm not gonna lie. If that's where it ended, would have been 10 times more powerful.
Yeah. Random thought, but if there was a song I could compare Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho to, it'd be uh Him. You ever heard that band?
Which one?
Him, His Imperial Majesty.
A little bit. I've heard about here and there.
Like a goth love metal.
Mhm.
Yeah. The song Rip Off the Wings of a Butterfly.
Ooh, yeah.
That's Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach in a nutshell.
I can see it. That's a good comparison.
Yeah. Come on, let's show them your love.
But
Rip off the wings of a butterfly.
I think to say the very least, I think with Yusuke, much like with Kenshin, is that you see them grow. I mean, yeah, you see them fall too, but you see them you see where they start off from, but you see where they are at the very end.
Yeah, that ending. And the ending is much different in the manga than it is in the anime, but they're both really powerful. So don't think the anime is losing out on it. The message is still there.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the few I could say that the anime is just as good as the manga.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely say that.
Yeah. Didn't they come up with a movie for Yu Yu Hakusho about a couple years later?
A couple movies, which, funny enough, I actually haven't seen the two movies. I've heard about them. I hear one of them's decent, the other one's okay.
I one that I think came out in 2011.
Okay.
I think it came out. I can't remember.
I know there are two OVAs. I know that. But what about you, James? Like, how does Yusuke compare to the other shonen protagonists that you've come across?
He's very different.
Very different.
Yeah. He's, and I hate using this term, but it's the best one I can think of. Right? He's more relatable than most of the shonen protagonists. He's more relatable than Naruto at this point.
That I can agree with.
I think it's because he's in that adolescent years, middle school, high school kind of thing. All that angst, pent up, trying to prove yourself, kind of attitude. It's different from Naruto, let's say. He grew up being rejected and hated, and then he had to, grow up and learn all these lessons and everything like that. But in a way, Naruto's lessons are a little bit unrealistic because we're not exactly because we have a monster inside of us. It's not really how it grows up,
Yeah.
You just, grew up, no father, single parent, mother was alcoholic.
Here's the crazy thing: his mother was 14.
Yeah, very young, very young, alcoholic, troubled home, poor lifestyle. Went to school, thought it was pointless, didn't care about it. There's a lot more people that can relate to Sasuke's level of living than Naruto's, and I think that's what makes it stronger. Probably the strongest shonen protagonist I know in terms of being relatable to us in real life, because he actually does have real life issues, even if his life goes into an unrealistic proportion. Has to deal with teachers, has to deal with school, has to deal with lifestyles, has to deal with bullies, have to deal with fathers, have to deal with getting a job, have to deal with this, have to deal with everything. Not one thing I can't think of that's not relatable in some way. And good on Keiko for being a strong female character that's willing to put up with this shit.
That was Keiko, yeah.
Yeah. Strong women are always the best women. Sorry, I hate to say that to some of you ladies, but strong women are the best women out there. They put up with so much from so many guys, and because they see something good in them that nobody else sees, and you ladies, you deserve that respect. I just hope that he can see in you, or at least see enough in you to understand that what she sees in them. And this is another thing that that's great. It's that relatable relationship between Yusuke and Keiko. The relationship is not perfect. Is there love there? Yes. Is there caring there? Yes. But it's not flawless. And they actually go through normal issues that most couples probably would. He cares about her. He doesn't want to bring her into his lifestyle. She's willing to put up with everything for him. And it's not like he's abusive towards her. I'm sorry, did I say that? It's a beautiful relationship. It's a tragic and beautiful relationship that actually does have a happy ending.
It really is.
And
here's something that I think that's really cool about Keiko is that, like, she's a great character, and she's not a fighter.
Yeah. Well, she is. She's just not.
Combat capability right now. She's not like in the ring like the others are.
Yusuke can fight a big buff dude that can kill people just by walking next to them. Is afraid of a girl slapping him. Anime. But the ending. I don't know if do you want to talk about the ending, or
we can get into that with the next topic, which is Togashi himself. Yeah, you guys, who is now more famous for Hunter x Hunter, or should I say Hiatus X Hiatus for... I'm pretty sure Dragon Quest is in that list of illnesses, but it's neither here or there. Well, this is before he got that name coined on him. Yeah, believe it or not, guys, Togashi actually did complete a work.
I know. Hell has frozen over.
It's like, wait, he finished? Yeah, it's a series called Yu-Yu Hakusho. And I'm going to be the first to say this. People aren't going to like it. I think Yu Yu Hakusho is better than Hunter x Hunter. That's me.
Ooh, I think you just pissed off half your fan base.
Now, before y'all throw pitchforks at me, let me say this. I love Hunter x Hunter as much as the next guy. But, gotta keep in mind, Hunter x Hunter is not over yet.
Yeah.
That's...
In fact, did it get a reboot?
They got an anime reboot, yeah.
Yeah. Like, there was like Hunter x Hunter, and then there's like, oh, we're gonna redo Hunter x Hunter and be more like the anime or manga.
Yeah, the Madhouse version.
Yeah.
So, Togashi as a writer, I think is very interesting. Because he'll take certain tropes, and he'll, like, deconstruct it. Like, you'll get introduced to characters where they seem like your typical standard characters and whatnot that you see in every other manga.
Mm-hmm.
But then he delves deep into those characters. Like, like case in point with Yusuke, with Kuwabara, Kurama, Hiei. Even, like we said, with Keiko, with Chizuru, and I can't believe we never mentioned him, but Sakio. That's another one too.
Oh, Sakio. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, how could you forget Sakio? Horrible people.
Sakio, I mean, I'm not gonna say Sakio is like one of the best villains, but he's definitely got layers to him. For sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Layer upon layer upon layer. That's what the series is.
And here's the thing: he's a man that's very committed. When he makes that announcement, okay, and if we lose, I will trade in my life, and that's exactly what happened. It's like,
yeah.
Initially, you think, okay, fine, he's gonna die, but it's kind of heartfelt when you see Chizuru, who like him and like her and Saki kind of have this infatuation with one another without it being like too obvious.
Yeah,
you feel something for her when when he's sitting there and he's smiling and the rubble like coming down on him.
We have a pain that's on the screen for maybe a couple minutes at best overall, and it still has more development than Narahina.
Shots fired.
No, cannons fired. I'm attacking the fort on this one.
You attacking the fort?
But Sakio, he, as much of a villain that he was, he despised cheating.
He does.
Like, he's a hot girl, like, kill all the members of the
Committee. Yeah.
Look, I may be a bad guy, and I may be greedy for profits and everything like that, but I'm at least do this fair.
Mm-hmm.
And, you use tactic, it's not going to be, it's not how I want to win. And I gotta respect that. My hat's off to him.
Same. That's the thing, like, as much as he was willing to give, like, Yusuke and the team, like, obstacles and whatnot, like, you can see that there's a very human side to him when he sees, like, the girls and whatnot. He's like, yeah, like, look, even though, like, I rule this place and whatnot, like, we're still kind of looked down upon. And
yeah.
that's a way to, like, help him, too.
It's one hell of a motivator.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to be, like, prude or anything like that, but it is one hell of a motivator.
No, but you do bring up an interesting point that, like, again, a pairing that, like, maybe lasts just a couple minutes has more going for it than, a lot of the pairings nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, my allergies are bad today.
I think that's one of, like, Togashi's biggest strengths as a writer is that, like he'll, you'll see them start off a certain way, and, like, you dive into their psyche, and I think it's, like, probably one of his, like, best traits as a writer. How do you feel he is as a writer? And if you want, that can also translate to Hunter x Hunter too.
I mean, I have a confession to make. I actually haven't watched Hunter x Hunter that often.
Can I make a confession too? So I've seen Hunter x Hunter, but I don't go back into watching it as much as
Yu-Yu Hakusho.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you already know my opinion on this one. Even if this is like a one-time thing, even if this is like some kind of like fluke, whether it's because of editors, because he actually is a good writer, everything like that, Yu Yu Hakusho is just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find a single flaw. I really can't. I really can't find fault with anything. I mean, I can nip.
The only thing I was going to say, the only thing I can think of is maybe the Three Kings. Not in terms of how things go in the arc, but the fact that the pacing kind of went by a little quickly.
Yeah.
In the final arc. Like, I still remember you had this entire thing going on where they were training for a year and whatnot. Like, it was like 1 minute we're in Demon World, and then, like, next episode, hey, it's been here. It's like, this is cool, but we could have had a little bit of an establishment of what was going on beforehand, but okay. But again, that's me, like, nitpicking a little too.
I do like how what he did with, like, it kind of skipped the training, but didn't really skip it. It was just like when something or a lesson came along that applied to the training that he did, we went back and looked at the training.
Yeah.
And I think that's most important because unless it seems a little cheap, because then you can make the do whatever it is, and it just so happens to fit with exactly what he's doing. Maybe, but the way that he tactfully did it, and who the teacher was, which is basically Genkai, so it's like, that's what the best part about it is that you have these characters that know, understand, learn, view it, and then, like, they can pass on the same knowledge, and that's what Yusuke. And that's what the Genkai Yusuke is that they went back and looked at the training every now and then, like a flashback, and then you have, like, it's convenient that he learned the training. Well, obviously it makes sense because Genkai would know, okay, this is the kind of stuff you're going to face, let's train for it. Makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense. It's just perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. All the tactics that you see, and instead of cheapening it, instead of making it shallow, it actually made it worthwhile and meaningful. And at the end of the day, it's still just a story. And stories are going to have cliches and tropes and everything like that. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. The writers as a whole, if you can use it properly and still have me at the edge of my seat, crying at sad moments, excited, go Yusuke, go Yusuke, go Ichigo, go Naruto, you'd be a good writer. That's how you be. When you get me to the point where I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. You failed. You just failed.
Case in point, Naruto.
Yeah, you didn't earn that.
No, you didn't.
That's a sad. This is again, Yu Hakusho. Yusuke earned everything he did. Naruto, nothing felt earned.
Nothing.
Pairings didn't feel earned. His accomplishments didn't feel earned.
And here's the thing that I want to say: as far as relationships go, whether it's like romantic or like parental relationship, again, Yusuke and his dad, Ryzen, right? We only see it for like a few episodes, but it was still so powerful.
Yeah, and admitted, he admitted to Yusuke, look, I'm not that great of a dad, but let me at least do this one thing for my son.
And even then, like with Ryzen, like we get his backstory too of like like he was one of those vicious demons, but eventually he came to fall in love.
He was a vicious demon. Met this human. He fell in love. Decided I'm not going to eat humans anymore, and starved himself.
And that's very telling. It was like, wow.
You see his stomach concave in the anime. He's just like, yeah, I haven't eaten souls in like hundreds of years because of your mom. Or like, I haven't eaten souls in like ever since I met your mom.
Mm-hmm. It was like, shit.
And if a demon like that could have faith in humanity, why couldn't Yusuke?
Mm-hmm.
Powerful. Message. Don't lose hope. Don't waver. Don't demean yourself. Don't do this. Don't think yourself as lesser. Don't see yourself as powerful. See yourself as one more wall that you need to overcome. Nothing is ever like overcome. You just have to believe in yourself. Have faith. Believe in something. All these messages over again every single time, and it works.
It really does. I think this is also one of Togashi's strengths too. Is that like the romance aspect, which we talked about in the Kenshin one too. Again, so straightforward, but so meaningful too.
Yeah.
Like again, like what was it? Episode 3, I think, is when you have the scene where Keiko saves Yusuke's life by kissing him or something. I think it was 3 or 5, one of the 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it was just that one episode, but you knew after that, or like even from episode 1, that okay, more or less, they're going to get together.
Yeah.
It doesn't just stop there. Like you see them develop throughout the show.
Yeah.
I think one of my more funnier moments was when Yusuke was passed out, and I think Botan was like, "Now, don't do anything naughty," or then Chu makes that comment too, and she's like, "Why is everybody thinking that?"
Yeah. Why does everyone keep thinking I want to bone Yusuke? Like, I keep wanting to see Sasuke. I don't know why.
They've got so much sounding names. Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, but I don't know about you, but I just thought that was funny. I was like, why does everybody think that?
And you still got some great funny moments out of it too, like the time Keiko thought Yusuke was gonna die, so she kind of just went like a catatonic state.
Yeah.
And then what did he say?
After the face.
Yeah, he said something really dirty to her or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "You jerk!" Whack. Oh, what the hell happened?
Another relationship I think that was really cool was the Kuwabara and Yukino one.
Yeah, that was interesting. Well, Yukino was kind of a dumb blonde the entire time.
It was like everyone was just throwing insults at, trying to motivate Kuwabara by saying Yukino wouldn't do this and whatnot. She's like, well, why would I be upset? And I'm like, aw, that's cute.
Yeah. Oh, they're so cute. Then you find out she's Hiei's sister.
Okay, which I gotta ask, do you think we should have gotten that resolution or no? Because I don't think, everybody finds out, but I don't think Yukina ever finds out that Hiei's her brother. I think that might be the one little flaw that the series has, is that you don't get that, but I don't know. Maybe that's me nitpicking, but
You know what I think it might have been great?
What?
If they never come out and say it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's like this one moment where she gives like a smirk, you know? You know what I mean?
Like
she gives a smirk, like indicating to us that she knows, but to everybody else she acts dumb.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
Because she knows and we know that if it was openly admitting about it to everybody else who was not knowing about it, like Hiei would be very upset. That makes me angry when I'm angry. And it just would have been nice.
It would have.
I'm looking for my brother. Which maybe there was a moment like that, could have been, and we just never saw it. I don't know. I had to go back and look at it because there was a point where she's all about that. I'm looking for my brother. I'm looking for my brother. I'm looking for my brother. And then like somewhere in the series, like she just stopped all about that. And it almost like there's an indication that she knew, and she just didn't. And she just didn't.
Yeah, like maybe it's like just one of those like subtle things where you're like, it's probably
wink,
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Which I gotta say, I love the tease that everybody gives to Hiei about that. Like Kuwabara, like the one that doesn't. I think Kuwabara finds out after a while, but for most dudes, like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure Hiei would love to tell you who his sister is.
Yeah. I got a shorty for a brother.
Oh my god, you're right.
It was a fun, comical relationship.
It was. Especially the relationship.
Yukina, you are the soul of my life. I will do anything for you, and hopefully I can make all your dreams come true. Well, you're very nice, Kuwabara. You're like a very nice
I know. Yukina's too innocent. I love it.
She's too innocent for the...
Yeah, right.
They're so cute when they're new.
Can you imagine if there was a Yukina? Wait, is there a Yukina in Bleach? I don't think there is.
Well, she did cry when Kuwabara was dying. Remember, she cried the pearls?
She did. I remember that.
And that's when you knew, like, she only cries the pearls when it's really a serious moment, and when Kuwabara got hurt and she started crying the pearls, you're like, canon.
The thing is that like even though she found it a little weird at first with Kuwabara, but then she she quickly accepts it.
Yeah, it was the most innocent pearl necklace I've ever seen.
I will also say that like again, it's not a romantic relationship, but I love the dynamic too between the ogre and Koenma.
Oh yeah,
it's like hey, ogre, hit me. What? Hit me, no. Like, ow, what the hell did you do that for? But you told me to hit you.
Do you guys don't listen to everything I say? Yeah?
Again, guys, an anime-only character, but fits so well in the series.
And especially when he wanted to be commentator of the Dark Tournament.
Right?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. The ring announcer, the fish girl.
The jury, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of had a crush on her.
I'll tell you who mine was.
What?
For me, I actually liked Dakota. as a kid.
Hey, she's pretty cute looking, and there we go.
Yeah.
Love relationships. They actually work in this series.
Yeah, right?
Unlike another series that...
And again, it doesn't have to be super complex, because like, it can just be pretty straightforward. You just gotta, build it.
Yeah.
Build more to it.
I kind of wish mangaka would listen to our things, and I would like to tell you guys, look, you don't have to be good at writing romance, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just subtle. Sometimes just a little bit is enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to do overboard scenes of romance stuff. You just need to make them have a relationship and to it. You know, you don't have to do romantic scenes every 15 seconds. We don't need that. We want something that's real. And real means flawed. And flawed means they're going to fight. Flawed means we're going to fight. It just, we still care about each other enough and so much that it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Not this, oh yeah, I'm a complicated issue that I'm going to try to kill you, but it just means I don't have a hard time expressing my emotions. That's not love. That's a therapy. That's a therapy session.
Pretty much.
Look at look at Keiko and Yusuke. Look how their relationship is. Subtle. Little bits here and there. Act like they don't care about each other, and then have them care about each other. Especially in dire moments.
Or the ending where she's like, half my life I waited for you. I just can't go on like this. And he's like, I can't let you go on like this either. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. And again, such a powerful moment. I'm not doing it anymore, Yusuke. I have a life too, She's screaming into the void. And then what does he do? He comes back. I don't want you to. She jumps him on the beach and kisses him. For real this time. Well, I mean, like, not just bringing him back to life, but kissing him. And you had those moments where he's like, I have been in the demon world for 3 to 5 years. And she's like, fine, go then.
She does.
And she gets mad at him and everything. That's a relationship. And good for her for willing to wait.
Right.
But still draw lines. God, it's so good. Why? You are the mangaka. Why can't you do it like this? Why do you let your editors influence you? Editors and mangaka editors. Look, listen. Don't write the story. Just improve upon it. Tired of this crap. Well, I really like it. I really like this certain character. I want her to be a prominent thing in the series, but she doesn't really matter. I don't care. I want her to be predominant. No! You don't get to do whatever you want because it's your favorite character. That's not how this works. Yu Yu Hakusho is about Yusuke. Make it about Yusuke. Naruto, make it about Naruto. Don't stop, don't side him for somebody else. Dragon Ball Z, actually, Toriyama, you need to stop. Okay? Get it. He's awesome. He's cool. Have somebody else have the spotlight for once. One, keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing great.
So, why do we think Togashi's one of the best in shonen as like a writer?
I think we answered this one.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much answered this question. Look, he's the best writer because he treats all his characters with respect. He has a relationship pairing, if there even is one, with the utmost respect and actually puts development into it. The villains are multi-dimensional. It's not just some cheap thing, and if they are cheap, they're not that important in the first place. So you can have cheap villains, but don't make them the main focus of the story. There actually are villains who do things because, well, they're evil.
I can agree with you on that.
You have villains that are actually reflect upon the main hero and have a connection with him, but also show off that dichotomy. Man, you're all about yin and yang. Use it.
It's not hard.
Make me believe that these characters exist. Make me believe that this is what actually can happen. Don't just randomly do something and then be like, oh yeah, this totally could happen. No. I know it's fiction. I know it is fiction. I understand that this stuff is fake. But, I mean, you can't have real human people.
Yeah, like you got the whole suspension of disbelief, but that only goes so far. I mean, look, and I know we bring it up all the time. Naruto had that. If we're just talking part 1, I know a lot of people want to say Pain Arc 2, which, alright, fine, we'll include Pain Arc. Had that. But then what happened? It's self-explanatory. I've been through this debate several times, so I don't have to say it anymore.
Yeah, and it's as much the fans' fault as it is the writers too, because some of you Naruto fans, that's all you cared about was the parents. You didn't care about anything else. And I don't know why. Yu Yu Hakusho, there was no war in Yu Yu Hakusho.
No.
There wasn't anything, and maybe this is because there was no internet at that time. That could be contributing. But There was no war. There was no like, oh, Yusuke deserved to be with Botan. No, he deserved to be with Keiko. No, we knew who Yusuke was going to end up with.
Yeah, and even going further with Hunter x Hunter, like, Gon doesn't have anybody he's going to end up with. Killua doesn't. Neither does Leori or Kurapika. But, you know.
It's not about things.
It's not about that at all.
I hate it. I know we're Narasaku fans. We like Narasaku because of what the story gave us. We like Yusuke and Keiko because of what the story gave us. We like... Well, I'm not really into Bleach that much, so I was going to say Ichigo and Orihime, but, you know, I know a lot of people are like Ichigo and Rukia fans, but...
I'm pretty neutral on it. I mean, even though I lean more towards Ichigo and Rukia, I'm pretty neutral towards...
Yeah.
And I think in a lot, because unlike with Naruto, at least Ichigo had, like, an equal amount of, like...
Yeah.
Both of them. That's why I was like, okay, well, I get why, you know?
Yeah, you can go with either or and it still worked out fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, but therein lies the problem. Don't characters and then do nothing with them. That's a waste.
It is.
And I hate that. I hate that with every single story. Do not waste my time with useless development. Don't sit here and waste my time. Yu Hakusho, never waste a moment. I was on the edge of my seat every single time, and every single moment was worthwhile. Everything. Nothing was wasted. I felt every hit. I felt every emotion. I felt every scene. I get it. Yusuke, you ever get so angry that you don't even show it anymore? You're calm as a stream, and you're just like, you know, I'm so angry with you right now. But I know that lashing out, that doesn't solve the problem. Instead, I'm just going to kill you. I'm just going to make you suffer the way you made everybody else suffer. And I'm putting every single bit of emotion I have. That is powerful. That is, you have to put someone to that where they can't even be angry at you. They can't even express it. That was you, guy. You killed my teacher. You threatened everybody I loved. You destroyed everything. I'm so angry with you that it's almost like Zen. I'm not even going to yell anymore. I'm just going to kick your ass. And you deserve every single inch of my foot. You know? You don't argue with that.
You don't.
I don't get that same feeling with Dragon Ball. I don't get that same feeling with Naruto. I don't get that same feeling with other series. I get it with Yu Yu Hakusho. And maybe with Bleach, but we covered this. I don't know where this trend started with this cheap drama, this cheap thing, this cheap garbage of what we now is shonen, and even My Hero is starting to do it. I'm waiting for Clover to start doing it too. And and it's just a disappointment, and I'm sad that I've gotten to this point because, you know, we both know Rurouni Kenshin and Yu Yu Hakusho, these started that shonen in America.
They did.
These really brought the anime fans up to speed, and now you're just disappointing us. And for those of you who have never seen it, you missed out. So if you got a chance, watch them, and you will look back on Naruto like, what the hell was Kishimoto thinking? You'll look back on Dragon Ball and Super and all that and go, what the hell was Kishimoto thinking? And that's the trick. They weren't. They let other people write the story for them, and that's where they failed. If I have any advice for any future writers, mangaka out there, let me give you this one. Write your story. Even if you mess it up, write your story. Don't let anybody else write it for you.
Or at least, like, if you have a story in mind, like, have it, like, written out.
Yeah. Make yourself some checkpoints to go to.
Mm-hmm.
I really can't emphasize it enough. You know, the destination can remain the same. Make the destination remain the same. You can change the journey. You can't change the destination, otherwise you start to lose everything. I'm gonna make Naruto become Hokage at the end. Well, now you changed it so that he doesn't even have his coronation. Good job, you ruined it. 15 years for nothing. The hell were you thinking? Yu-Yu Hakusho. It's a journey about a kid who grows up and learns his value in the world. Mission accomplished.
One of the best shonen out there, guys.
Yeah. Hell, if someone wanted to reboot Yu Yu Hakusho, make it more modern with updated animation, everything the same, and just refine the story a bit.
I don't know if it's really that necessary to do a reboot of Yu Yu Hakusho, per se, because I still feel like even if you have like the Blu-rays and whatnot, I think it still holds up pretty well.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. It definitely does.
I've seen people bring that up, and I'm like, you could, like, if you wanted to, like, update it a little bit, but I think with what we have, I think it's, you know, it holds up.
It's everything you want and need out of a story.
And I know we said it earlier, but arguably this is one of Period's best works. Best anime.
Yeah. All you people, oh, Black Clover is so great, I can't believe they did it. Watch this one.
Like, Black Clover is great, like, the manga is better in my opinion, but as far as, like, recent stuff goes, like, yeah, it's probably, it's better ones. For those of you who love Bleach, same anime team behind that did that.
I just can't believe the shonen made me cry in the first episode.
Right?
Naruto didn't even do that. And I saw him on the swing by himself.
Nah, I felt bad. I didn't cry, nah, but this, I was like, shit. I barely know these guys, and I'm already starting to get feelsy.
I know.
Man. And again, guys, I always come back to this series at least once. Once, at some point within the year, I always come back to it. Always.
If you ever lose faith in anime, watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see that meme with the old man? Grandpa, what is this story? Sit down, son. I'm gonna tell you the greatest story ever told. Yeah.
Pretty much. But, you know, I mean, we could sit here and talk more about Yu Yu Hakusho for another 2.5 hours, but I covered almost everything.
I think they got the point.
Yeah.
We could talk for another 2 hours and it still would not do the series justice. So watch it.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Yeah.
And now I'm not going to say shame on you because, you know, I know not a lot of people had a chance to watch this series because it's a little bit older. Watch it.
Yeah. Go to Funimation, go to Amazon, type in Yu Yu Hakusho, buy the first 4 seasons. You're good.
$10. If you don't walk away from that series thinking how great it is, I will owe you $10.
And he means it. What a journey it's been revisiting the series. What a journey it's been chatting with you about this, James.
I know. It's me you're talking to. Bring me back to my childhood.
Yeah, guys. I think aside from that, that's pretty much it. I'm LuckyG7.
And I'm JamesSCassidy.
And we will catch you guys next time. Spirit Gun!
Son of a gun!